Good morning, everybody. Week 2 press conference here for CD's Nuts. Much better result this week, obviously. Came out with a W over a very weak Jackson team, but a win's a win. We just a point off. High score. Mikey made a big comeback on Monday night with Saquon, so he took the high score from me, which is okay. A win's a win. I'm happy with it. To go down the line here, Herbert with 11 got hurt towards the end of the matchup. Very low on yards again. Got the 2 scores, which helped his cause, but had 2 turnovers, so kind of negated it. It's like, might have to find another solution anyways if he's out for an extended period of time, but the seat's growing hot for Mr. Herbert there. Geno, 18 points, finally links up with DK, got over 300 yards. No rushing yards, he's not going to, he's 37 years old. Big game from the vet, though, and again, if I have games like these from Geno every week, I can't be mad at him. Pacheco, even with the touchdown, still a workhorse. Just sucks, obviously he's going to be on IR, probably looking at hopefully week 8 to 10 return, since we have the bye in there. That helps us a little bit, but he's probably not going to come back 100%, so that's a big hit to the squad. Hopefully we have some boys that keep stepping up. Derrick Henry, workload finally picked back up towards the end of the game. He started off slow again. Maybe the Ravens are realizing that they need to give the fucking ball to Derrick Henry, but his workload picking up really helped me, trust him later into the year, growing into his workload into the new offense. So I'm happy with Derrick Henry, especially with Pop on IR. I need him to step up and be my RB1. So CD, he got his mojo back, got his touchdowns back in the typical CD game. They got blown out, which was nice, and CD did well. So you can't be upset about that. He needs to stay at this level if the squad wants to be where they want to be this year, pretty plain and simple. Rashi had the big catch touchdown. Other than that, not a very big game. The slants weren't very on against the Bengals. They did pretty well keeping us on the outside and keeping us short. But with Hollywood out, Rice is going to be a top 5 play all year, especially with Pop out. They're going to throw the ball more. Kelsey's going to get more targets now. Rice is just going to be tearing up the field. DK finally had his breakout game, as I said earlier. Absolutely dominant against a really, really tough Patriots defense. He had 10 targets, I think, which is unbelievable. The offense clearly runs through him on the offensive side of the ball, especially with Kenneth Walker out. They had to. So if he's out for an extended period of time and this is DK's workload, I'll be pretty happy with that. Kittle finally had a signature game of his. He had a couple big gains, big red zone touchdown that helped. Even without... what the fuck? Oh, here you go. Yeah, he was big in the red zone. Got that big red zone touchdown that kind of took him over the hump. Then he had to leave for the IV to go get his pussy checked out, so hopefully he's good for this week. Brian Robinson Jr., another very quality week, 14 points. Obviously the vocal point of the offense when they don't have JD run the ball every time, so that's a plus. He's a big dude. He's young. Still no touchdowns on 133 rushing yards, so that's a good sign. It's a good sign. They're giving the ball out. Eckler, not so much. He's getting like maybe 10, 15 less touches a game, so it's a good spot to be in, and he's going to be a confident play now that Pop's on IR. So, my Chiefs defense, the fumble recovery for a touchdown was obviously a big swing in the ball game, and the matchup for this one, the sacks helped a little bit, but it definitely needs more to be a confident play in my lineup every day. Could use some more interceptions from the DBs. We could use some strip sacks from Chris Jones, Karlaftis. They do that, they'll be a consistent play in my lineup. Butker, game-winning kick. Can't really be mad at him. He's already in my happy book. He doesn't miss. We haven't really got a lot of long field goal opportunities yet this year, but again, you can't be mad at somebody that doesn't miss and gets you points guaranteed. So, Ryan Wright, I have no idea what to do with punters. 4 points is better than what I had last week with Hecker, but I got him. Punters are just confusing to me, man. Trevor Lawrence on my bench, another very bang average game. His middle name should be Mid. He's just so average, but he's probably gonna play this week. He's gonna go ahead and give you a sneak peek. Probably gonna play this week. Herbert sucks. Well, Calvin Ridley got the rushing touchdown in that first or second quarter. Forgot they got him off the box. Then he had a big game, big receiving touchdown, big gains. So hopefully that keeps him around the bend. He's probably gonna have to be in the starting lineup this week with Pop out. I don't know if I'm probably not gonna be able to pick up one of the top waiver guys. I think I'm 9th waiver this week behind Mikey, or in front of Mikey. So we're gonna have to trust our guys that we got. Pretty plain and simple. Christian Watson is absolutely fucking useless. Absolutely useless. Jaleel McLaughlin, 0.6 points. He had 10 touches though, so at least I have a little bit of promise with him. He's still, splitting the carries with Javonte Williams, but Christian Watson's in a bad spot right now. Alec Pierce, 14 points, had another very, very solid game. Wide receiver 1 for the Colts so far this year over Michael Pittman. Hopefully he keeps that up. I need him to keep supplying the points, especially if Ridley's not going to be consistent for me, and I need that flex play. So, and Wandale Robinson scored a touchdown, only had 2 targets, I think, but that's what he's going to be when Neighbors gets all the coverage and all the attention. He's going to score his touchdown. He's going to get his short receptions and hopefully get some yards after the catch. So that's my squad for this week. I was impressed. I was happy. Now he's got to keep carrying it on into week 3 against the Harrison. For Jackson's team this week, Josh Allen dropped a stinker numbers-wise. No rushing touchdowns, both really sucked for him. Kind of set the tone for the whole week. Only 9 points from Josh Allen on Thursday night. It's not ideal. Kyler Murray looked unbelievable in the first half, cooled off in the blowout of the second half, but 100% could finish as a top 10 QB. He looks fully back. He looks fully healthy into the offense, so that's a big pickup for Jackson. Zeke Elliott looked about 455 pounds. He was actually used as a scare tactic against me earlier in the week, so that's how bad of shape Jackson's team's in. Jahmyr Gibbs looked electric. He's going to be a top 5 back. He just needs Goff to kind of step up, stop pussying these running back throws out of the backfield. He can't make a single throw to Gibbs, but other than that, Gibbs will be electric. He's going to keep getting more touches than Monty simply because he's younger. He just needs to stay healthy for Jackson. Andy Brown's pass catcher is probably going to be max a flex play until Watson can pull his head out of his ass. None of them are consistent enough. Their offensive line isn't good, especially with Amari Cooper. He's older, and he gets the toughest cover every time with a number 1 receiver, so just not a lot of upside for Amari Cooper this year, I don't think. Kupp is hurt again, left in a boot. I'm sure he'll do everything he can to be back out there, but he looks like he's probably going to go to IR. Not great, especially with Puka being out. Kupp was going to get so many catches, so many touches, but that looks like it's going to be on hold for Jackson. Jameson Williams, again, electric ball player. Jackson said in his press conference last week, I tried multiple times to get him before the season. I knew he was going to have a big breakout year. I'm sure Jackson's happy that he did not do that now, so I'm sure he will not leave his hands for the rest of the year. Who else do we got here? Sam Laporta dropped a big stinker. The Bucks usually play the tight end hard, but Laporta's got to start putting up some numbers to justify the high draft pick that Jackson spent on the high draft capital. It's just not looking good so far. But again, week 2, he's still got time to get involved in the offense coming off an injury. Demarcus Robinson was an emergency sub there for Kupp and A.J. Brown. Outperformed Amari Cooper, could continue to see the field as long as Puka's out, and now with Kupp being out, he's going to see the field even more. Probably going to be the number 1 receiver for the Rams. Chargers did their job against the Panthers. They did what they were supposed to do. Fairbairn is the new Justin Tucker. He's going to finish as a top 5 kicker this year. Ricky Sanchez, 7 points for a punter is a plus for him. Hey, keep it over there. Just keep it over there. This bench is absolutely dreadful. It's littered with injuries. All right. Get away. Go. Damn. My son's fucking spraying with me water. But this bench is awful. It's riddled with injuries, but even without injuries, it's still a terrible death. He just traded away Kareem Hunt this morning. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Zach Moss is not going to be it. But that's it for Jackson's team. He's got to hope he bounces back. He's 0-2. Not a good start. The commission's not looking great, but again, week 1, he was going to the championship. So, around the NFFL, an Alvin Kamara masterclass, throwback to a couple years ago, sent Mikey's team off into a great weekend. DT finally linked up with Minshew to get off the blocks. The rest of the squad, outside of bitch-ass Jamar, pulled their weight, did well. Mikey should be happy about where he's at, but his bench is kind of weak, so I'm sure he'll look to make some couple moves, even though he just traded for Nick Chubb. Jackson's an idiot. Alex had a solid performance, better than last week from all of his backs. Jay Jettas looked like a superstar again. The receiving core is kind of dragging behind, and he's Glad McConkey to kind of pick it up. But if Jay Jettas is a superstar, Alex is going to have a chance to be in every single game. He just needs to kind of everybody else to pull their weight. Jesse starts off 2-0, much more quality and numbers-wise probably this week than last week. Malik Neighbors finally shows out. A-Chain Williams and Dobbins is an unbelievable 3-headed monster. He needs them all to stay healthy, especially Dobbins. 34 points from his specialist is absolutely unbelievable. 17 from his punter, 17 from Aubrey, who has averaging 19 points a game so far. So Jesse's in a good spot. He's going to continue to look to build on this 2-0 start and hopefully not be in the Sped Bowl again this year. I think he's got it. Ryan looks the favorite to be the Sped this year. He has looked absolutely atrocious in the first 2 weeks of the season. Lowest scorer back-to-back weeks. Caleb Williams just is a rookie. He's not gonna pick up numbers wise in fantasy. Mahomes is not gonna put up the same numbers in fantasy. It looks like this year, even though Pop is out now, so it might get a little bit more throwing heavy. It's just Marvin Harrison Jr. finally broke out. James Cook had a very good game. He's gonna be consistent, but Ryan needs some big moves, needs some big changes, needs probably to get Carson Steele off the waivers, put him in the lineup, see what's gonna go from there. Harrison and Parker was one of the biggest nail biters of the year. Parker pulling it out very, very last minute on Monday Night Football. All right, dude. Hey, stop it. Point that way. Go. Just brain dead. You got a computer. Go. Never have children, guys. Yeah, Harrison and Parker, big Monday Night Football game. Hurts pulled it out at the end with Devontae Smith. Big games from both of them. It was very close as Hurts threw that pick at the very end to make it really interesting, but Parker pulled it out. AR-15 did not look great. Pittman did not look great. That stack is just not – well, Pittman is not great. AR-15 is going to be all right, but Pittman doesn't look like he's going to be the old Pittman. Breece Hall and Ramondre Stevenson are a very good 1-2 punch, going to get a lot of touchdowns, a lot of touches this year, so I think Parker's in a very good spot. Obviously 2-0, not 0-4 for the last 3 years, so it's a good start for the lad. Harrison had a lot of very solid performances too in the double digits that probably should have pulled it out for him, but just the small things here and there cost him. But that's fantasy football, man. Tua going down again is not great for him, but he's got Derek Carr who's been outperforming Tua so far, so he just needs to kind of pick up that backup. Baker's been unbelievable too so far this year, so this team has a very good chance of staying in the mix. He just needs everybody to stay healthy, obviously, but that's fantasy football, man. Everybody needs them to stay healthy. Nick Lowe pulls out a nail biter on Monday Night Football. Late catch from Goddard kind of sealed the deal. Jordan Mason, another big pickup. He's going to be great for the rest of the year, probably. Even when CMC comes back, I think he'll still take a lot of touches. Nick looks good, 2-0, but he has been every year, so we'll see if he can hold it together. Owen looks to keep spiking his blood pressure with 2 straight weeks of 1-point ball games. Wrong side of this one, though. Rachaad White going out early did not help. He would have won the ball game probably if he stayed in. Godwin, Flowers, and Shaheed pulled the weight with some amazing ball games. Left it in Q's hand on Monday Night Football, and he couldn't just quite pull it out. So, for our standings, the 2-0 teams, Nick, Parker, and Jesse. Good start for those guys. Harrison, Owen, Mikey, and Garvey, 1-1. And Ryan, Alex, and Jackson, 0-2. For my power rankings, I'll be releasing them next week, obviously, as we said. For this week, I had Nick Lowe, Jesse, Parker, Mikey, Garvey, Harrison, Owen, Jackson, Alex, Ryan. So for our week 3 matchups here, let's wrap it up. We got Jackson versus Owen. I think Jackson will lose 119 to Owen's 135. We got Ryan versus Alex. I think Ryan has a big week to get over this slump. I think he scores 168 versus Alex's 140. Mikey is going to continue to put up some good numbers. 160 to Jesse's 125. I'm going to beat Harrison 153 to 145 in a close ball game. And Parker will defeat Nick Lowe 143 to 137. Congrats to everybody that won this week. Prayers to everybody that lost. Go Chiefs.